Steph Curry was unfortunately quickly ruled out of tonight's game with what the Warriors are now calling a left hamstring injury. And in this video, we'll take a look at what exactly I think happened here and how concerning this could be for the Warriors star. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Sutterer, and the goal in this channel is to teach you more about the medical side of the sports world. Now, we just got the update, just heard officially on the broadcast that Steph Curry has been ruled out, and they are calling it a hamstring strain. So this was the play that we first saw him grabbing at that hamstring, and I'll be honest, the fact that this wasn't really all that significant of a, drastic position, a drastic stretch on the hamstring raises my concern about, number one, sort of just the level of muscular kind of fitness going into this, and number two, how long of an absence we could be looking at due to, again, that quick rule out. Remember, the medical team is doing their evaluation. They want to get him back out there if at all possible. And so to hear about somebody not even being questionable or doubtful, but immediately being ruled out, to me raises concern that they're more worried about a significant injury. So here, of course, we're dealing with the left leg, and it was really, I think, on this step where things became much more aggravated. We can't see a great view from the side, but as Curry goes to play defense here and kind of extend that left leg out, he's a little bit bent forward at the trunk, so a little bit of trunk flexion, which is going to put some stretch on those hamstrings on the backside of the thigh. Now we have to remember that this position can also injure the adductors, the groin muscles, and sometimes that gets confused for a hamstring injury initially. But in this position, as that leg goes out to the side, his hamstrings are trying to fire to slow down his body to help with deceleration as much as the hamstrings and the adductor muscles are trying to propel you forward. They're also trying to help to slow yourself down. That's why it's a very important muscle to decelerate or slow down. And then, of course, right after that is when we see him for the first time grab at that buttock kind of outer portion of his hamstring area. Now, I think this actually might have been potentially aggravated a little bit on a play before. So we'll look at that next, talk about our anatomy, and then what to expect going forward. But first, a quick word from the sponsor of this video. Have you ever watched these videos and wondered why some athletes seem to bounce back from injuries so much faster than others? Well, it turns out that your body's genetics play a huge role in injury and recovery, and the sponsor of today's video, Circle DNA, can help unlock valuable insights into your health and performance. Circle DNA is an at-home, non-invasive DNA test that offers actionable health insights with over 500 reports based on your unique genetic blueprint. So if you're serious about injury prevention and optimizing your performance, then check out Circle DNA by clicking the link down in the description to get an exclusive discount. The app provides a number of great ways to view your results. You can go into the summary, and it's going to show you things like dietary sensitivity, nutritional needs, well-being, stress and sleep, and so many more amazing actionable things to really try and help improve your health and well-being. I learned that unfortunately I'm a little bit higher injury risk, and so within the report, I can see the scientific details, what exact genes were tested, and learn more about those references if I'm interested. It looks like I'm at a little bit of risk of losing water with workouts more than normal, and so I know that I might want to increase my fluid intake when I'm exercising. Your information is safe and secure, and the level of detail here is second to none. So thank you again to Circle DNA for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back to our learning. Next, I want to go to our biodigital anatomy tool to just understand the anatomy of these hamstring muscles and how close they lie to the adductor groin muscles. First off, the hamstrings, there's going to be three primary hamstring muscles. On the outside is going to be the biceps femoris, and then on the inside, you're going to have the semitendinosus and the semimembranosus. Of course, all three of them will originate off of the ischial tuberosity, which is kind of the sit bone here up at the top of the pelvis. We get that a little bit better into view. This right here is going to be the ischium, the ischial tuberosity, where those hamstring muscles originate to go down across the knee. Now, what also originates off of that ischial tuberosity is going to be the adductor magnus. And the adductor magnus sits kind of deep in that medial inner compartment of the posterior thigh. And sometimes what feels like a hamstring injury actually turns out to be more of an adductor groin injury. And if you think about when those adductor muscles are going to be stretched, it's going to be when the leg is in the opposite of that action of the muscle. So in this case, when the leg is abducted or out to the side, that's going to put tension and stress on the adductor muscles, similar to whenever you are, stretched with the leg this direction, the trunk bent forward, that's going to put tension on the hamstrings and potentially injure the hamstrings. So that's where I think we have to wait to see some imaging. Could this end up being more of like an adductor groin injury? Yes, really would not overall affect prognosis that much in my mind. I will say the good thing is that Curry seemed to be grabbing more in the muscle area as opposed to up at the buttock. Injuries to the tendon, the origin of those adductors or hamstrings, pardon me, dealing with a cold, are going to be much higher risk, longer term absence than just your run-of-the-mill muscular injury. So where Curry grabs is one good prognostic factor. So then I mentioned how there was a play before where this might have initially been aggravated. This was when Curry hit that step back three, and you can see how he stretches out forward with that left leg, and then he has to quickly decelerate. This position is going to put a lot of demand on your hamstring, and this happened just before the defensive play where we saw him grab at the leg. So that action of his left leg going forward in front of him, you can see how much tension and stress that's going to put on the backside of the hamstring. That action of the muscle to decelerate puts a lot of stress on the hamstring muscle, and could have been when things initially became tweaked that then got aggravated later on that subsequent defensive possession. So what's next? Like I said, it's concerning when a player is ruled out right away. I always like to see that they're questionable. It means there's not too much initial concern, see how things settle down, see if he can go. But the initial rule out to me is a little bit more worrisome, and I would be surprised if we see Steph back for game 2. I think one important factor to consider here is that muscle fatigue is a risk factor for muscle injuries. The Warriors are coming off a demanding series against the Rockets. There's no doubt that there's going to be some level of fatigue in, not to be critical, but a body that's more aged, got more miles on it. And so I wonder how much that could be playing a role here. Again, there didn't seem to be that big of a stretch, that big of an explosive movement to injure the hamstring. And so you wonder how much fatigue could have factored in to making that muscle more prone and susceptible to these injuries. Refer over, I'm sure Jeff Stotts in Street Clothes on Twitter or X is going to have some more information on hamstring strains and exact return time. I would be surprised if we see Curry back for game 2, like I said. I think minimum you're looking at a game or 2 absence here. And yes, some hamstring injuries can be significant enough where you miss multiple weeks or a month. So this has the potential to be season ending for Curry if they don't advance past this round. Best case scenario, just misses a game or 2, but I think there is a level of concern here based on how quickly he was ruled out. That's it for the video, everybody. Let me know as always any questions or comments down below. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.